Water, the elixir of life. Water, the elixir of life. Seven Khalid Suzuki, born on November 30th, 1979, in Vancouver, British Columbia, is a Canadian environmental activist. She has spoken around the world about the environmental issues, urging listeners to define their values, act with their future in mind, and take individual responsibility. In 1992, at age 12, Khalid Suzuki raised money with members of the ECO to attend the Earth Summit in Rio de Janeiro, with the members of ECO to attend the Earth Summit in Rio de Janeiro. Find out where is Rio de Janeiro from the atlas. Khalid Suzuki presented environmental issues from a youth perspective at the summit, where she was applauded for her speech to the delegates. Hello, I am Seven Suzuki, speaking for the ECO, the Environmental Children's Organization. We are a group of 12 or 13 olds trying to make a difference. Vanessa Sutti, Morgan Geisler, Michelle Quigg, and me. We have raised all the money to come here ourselves, to come 5,000 miles to tell you adults, you must change your ways. Coming up here today, I have no hidden agenda. I am fighting for my future. Losing my future is not like losing an election or a few points on the stock market. Losing my future is not like losing an election or a few points on the stock market. I am here to speak for all the generations to come. I am here to speak on behalf of the starving children around the world whose cries go unheard. I am here to speak for the countless animals dying across this planet because they have nowhere left to go. I am here to speak for all the generations to come. I am here to speak on behalf of the starving children around the world whose cries go unheard. I am here to speak for the countless animals dying across the planet because they have nowhere to go. I am afraid to go out in the sun now because the holes in our ozone. I am afraid to breathe the air because I don't know what chemicals are in it. I am afraid to breathe the air because I don't know what chemicals are in it. I used to go fishing in Vancouver, my home, with my dad, until just a few years ago, we found the fish full of cancers. And now we hear of animals and plants going extinct every day, vanishing forever. And now we hear of animals and plants going extinct every day, vanishing forever. In my life, I have dreamt of seeing great herds of wild animals, jungles, and rainforests full of birds and butterflies. But now I wonder if they will even exist for my children to see. Did you have to worry of these things when you were my age? All this is happening before our eyes, and we act as if we have all the time we want and all the solutions. I'm only a child. I'm only a child, but I don't have all the solutions. I want you to realize neither do you. I want you to realize neither do you. You don't know how to fix the holes in our ozone layer. You don't know how to bring salmon back up a dead stream. You don't know how to bring back an animal now extinct. And you can't bring back the forest that once grew where there is now a desert. If you don't know how to fix it, please stop breaking it. I am only a child and I don't have all the solutions. I want you to realize neither do you. You don't know how to fix the holes in the ozone layer. You don't know how to bring the salmon back up a dead stream. You don't know how to bring back an animal now extinct. And you can't bring back the forest that once grew where there is now a desert. If you don't know how to fix it, please stop breaking it. Here you may be delegates of your government, business people, organizers, reporters, or politicians, but really you are mothers and fathers, sisters and brothers, aunts and uncles, and all of you are someone's child. I am only a child, yet I know we are all part of the family of 5 billion strong, in fact 30 billion species strong, and borders and governments will never change that. I'm only a child. I'm only a child. I'm only a child. Yet I know that we are all in this together. and should act as one single world towards one single goal, should act as one single word toward one single goal. In my anger, I am not blind, and in my fear, I am not afraid of telling world how I feel. In my country, we make so much waste. We buy and throw away, buy and throw away, buy and throw away. We buy and throw away, we buy and throw away, we buy and throw away. And yet, northern countries will not share with the needy. Even when we have more than enough, we are afraid to share. We are afraid to let go of some of our wealth. Even when we have more than enough, we are afraid to share. We are afraid to let go some of our wealth. In Canada, we live in a privileged life. There is plenty of food, water, and shelter. We have watches, bicycles, computers, and television sets. Television sets. The list go on for 2 days. 2 days ago, here in Brazil, we were shocked when we spent time with some children on the streets. This is what one child told us: I wish I was rich, and if I were, I would give all the street children food, clothes, medicine, shelter, and love and affection. See what the child told. This is what one child told us. I wish I was rich, and if I were, I would give all the street children food, clothes, medicines, shelter, and love and affection. If a child on the streets who has nothing to is willing to share, why are we, who have everything, still so greedy? I can't stop thinking that these children are my own age. That it makes a tremendous difference where you are born. That I could be one of the children living in the favelas of Rio. I could be a child starving in Somalia, or a victim of war in the Middle East, or a beggar in India. I am only a child, yet I know that if all the money spent on war was spent on finding environmental answers, ending poverty, and finding treaties, what a wonderful place this earth would be. At school, even in kindergarten, you teach us how to behave in this world. You teach us not to fight with others, to work things out, to respect others, to clean up our mess, not to hurt other creatures, to share and not be greedy. Then why do you go out and do the things they tell us not to do? Then why do you go out and do the things you tell us not to do? Then why do you go out and do the things you tell us not to do? Do not forget why you are attending these conferences, who you are doing this for. We are your own children. You are deciding what kind of world we are going to going up in. You are deciding what kind of world we are growing up in. You are deciding what kind of world we are growing up in. Parents should be able to comfort their children by saying everything is going to be right, everything is going to be all right. It is not the end of the world, and we are doing the best we can. But I don't think you can say that to us anymore. Are we even on our list of priorities? My dad always says, you are what you do, not what you say. You are what you do and not what you say. You are what you do and not what you say. Well, what you do makes me cry at night. You grown ups say you love us, but I challenge you, please make your actions reflect your words. Thank you. Well, what you do makes me cry at night. You grown ups say you love us, but I challenge you, please make your actions reflect your words. Thank you. From zero to infinity. Many people regard scientist Albert Einstein as one of the 20th century's greatest geniuses. He was a physicist whose research into the working of the universe made such inventions as nuclear energy, space travel, and television possible. Anecdotes about Einstein show that he had great sense of humor. One such anecdote tells that a young man with a growing reputation, he received many invitations to go to the universities to explain his theories. On these trips, he has always chauffeured by the same person, a man called Hans. Hans often said to him, it's a pleasure to drive a genius like you, Dr. Einstein. One evening on the way to a remote university, Einstein said, I wish I didn't have to give you the lecture right tonight, Hans. I am so tired and I can't let my audience down, can I? You don't need to, said Hans. Well, we will change places and I will give the lecture for you. I have listened to it a dozen times. I have listened to it a dozen times. I don't understand it, but I know it by heart. And no one knows you at the university, do they? No one will find out. Einstein eventually agreed with Hans, but said to him, Don't try to answer any questions, whatever you do. They changed places, and at the university, Hans was greeted and led to the platform in a great hall crowded with the professors and students. Einstein joined the audience and listened to Hans give his lecture perfectly and joined in the applause at the end. However, before Hans could get off the platform, Professor shouted from the audience, I would like to ask a question. It's very difficult, but please answer it. He then asked the question so difficult that Hans had no idea what he was talking about. Einstein thought, oh dear, now we are in trouble. But Hans just laughed and said, that's not a difficult question, sir. In fact, it is so easy that my driver knows how to answer it. Hans, stand up and. Einstein stood up and answered the question perfectly. They left the university with Einstein driving. A little later, Hans offered to take over from him. No, my friend, laughed Einstein. It's a pleasure to drive a genius like you. It is a pleasure to drive a genius like you. The comet. Comet, meteors, and asteroids have several things in common. First, they are believed to be remnants of the materials that created the sun and the planets. Basically, they are leftovers. Comets, meteors, asteroids are too small to be planets. Some are only a few feet in size, while others are a mile or a more long. Comets are mostly made of ice. They are very old. As comets travel close to the sun, some of the ice melts off and becomes gas. The melting process causes bits of dust and debris to trail behind the comet. This tail can be seen in the night sky as a bright and quickly moving light. Comets orbit at a very edge of the galaxy past Pluto. Comets orbit at the very edge of the galaxy past Pluto. With that, we stop now. Thanks for listening.